Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, all praises and the belong is due to Yahweh by Shem HaMashiach wa Malak Yahushai. Secondly, Brother Yardan, WFI Detroit coming back at you with yet another cold cut. The title of this video is Anger, Wrath. And it may change, but nevertheless, understand that that's the purpose behind this video, is to understand anger and wrath and even how to avoid it, right? So before I dive into it, I want to give a salute to the men, women, and children that are laboring day in and day out, fasting, studying, reading, praying, bringing forth fruit meet for repentance, anything to really magnify and glorify the name of the Lord. So again, the Most High sees your works. They are not in vain. Now dive into the video, anger and wrath. It's seen all throughout the Bible. In fact, on a spiritual level, you have the Most High's anger, and then on a carnal level, there's man's anger, man's wrath. Now, of course, 10 times out of 10, the Most High's anger is justified, whereas man's wrath and anger is far less justified. Man is angry over folly a lot of the times. So there's a great difference. Now, before I continue, what exactly is wrath and anger? And that's just simply a strong emotion characterized by displeasure. Perhaps someone's not meeting a certain criteria, a standard, or just simply doing something you don't like. That can form into someone being angry and or upset. Now, man being made in the image of the Most High means we mirror his emotions. We've received the emotions such as happiness, joy, love, and anger from him. And so I don't say that to say that the Most High is a man, so he gets emotionally angry like we do. That's not the case. He's impartial. He's very fair in how he dishes out judgment. Whereas man, a lot of the times, they just get angry over folly and madness. Now, with that said, there's a relationship between anger and logic, and it varies upon the situation, because sometimes anger and let me rephrase that. Anger and logic, they're interconnected, but also varying upon a situation or circumstance, they belong in two separate rooms, right? Depending upon the case. And so, for an example, if my dog bites me, now emotionally, my emotional response could be me biting him back or me punching him. But logically, I could say, well, look, why did he bite me? I have to weigh everything in the matter and examine, well, is this why? Oh, it's because I didn't feed him. So this is why he bit me. Therefore, I shouldn't just beat his ass for biting me. There's a reason behind why he did it. That's me understanding the situation and applying wisdom. Because not every time you're angry, someone deserves a heavy punishment. And Most High, he treats us very similar. There's been a lot of times where we displeased him, but he didn't give us the heaviest punishment of ever. You understand? And that's why there's the Lord's mercy. That's why David received the mercies of the Lord. That's what we pray for, that we receive the mercies of the Most High God. So, again, logic, it creates that framework for rational thought and decision making, whereas emotion is just you being influenced from a situation and behaving in haste, if you will. So I got some precepts as well to show the difference between man and the Most High. I'm going to start with man. Now the Lord said this as well. I'm going to pull this verse up. I have to mention this. In Ephesians 4:26, the Lord stated, "Be angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath." So, in other words, you can be angry because being angry is a just feeling, right? That's your emotion. You can feel however you want, but does it always make it acceptable? So again, you can be angry, but you can't sin in the process of you being angry. Right? If my cat knocks over my glasses, I can be angry, but I can't sin by cooking him up and eating him. That'd be madness. That'd be emotional. That'd be me being in sin. So we can be angry, but we can't sin in the process of our anger. The Lord said, let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Meaning what? You can't be angry for 5 days straight. That's a demon on you. I mean, tomorrow's a new day. The Most High forgave you for your sins and trespasses. Think about all the sin and all the folly that you've done and said in a day. In the eyes of the Most High God, consider how unclean we are. Our righteousness is but as filthy rags. So, in other words, you're nobody to hold, anger over. You don't have the moral high ground. Because, you sinned. You sinned today. You probably sinned 5 minutes ago. So, with that, this is Genesis chapter 4, verse 3. And in the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel he also brought out the firstling of his flock, and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering, because Abel understood and followed the instructions of the Most High God. He followed after his commandments, pursuing to Luke 1:6. Let me pull that out real quick. Get the book of Luke. Chapter 1, verse 6. And they were both righteous before God, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord, blameless. And that's how Abel was moving. He was moving blameless before the Lord, the Most High God. And so he understood what the Lord required of him, which was, what? The firstling of his flocks, and the fat thereof. And the Lord had a respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was wroth, and his countenance fell. And what did Cain offer? And he offered fruit of the ground. That was something that the Lord did not ask. So Cain was just being a butthole. He's being an a-hole. And in verse 6 it reads this, And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? So the Lord is saying, well, if you do well, will you not be accepted? So this also, brings us into the light of understanding that Cain understood what was well and favorable for the Most High God, yet he purposely denied that which is good. And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, thou shalt rule over him. And so Cain had the understanding of good and evil. After all, he knows that through his parents, to understand what is good and evil. Verse 8, And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and slew him. And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? So Cain just turned into a full-blown demon, 4th gear. And there's no telling what he said to Cain while they were walking. He could have been scoffing. He could have been whispering. He could have said, well, you think you hot stuff? Who are you? Who art thou? He could have been saying a multitude of things. There's no telling. The Lord didn't go into depth. Moses didn't write and elaborate. But we know that it was something very sly and sneaky. Something very, very subtle. And so he killed him. That was man moving in his emotions. And his emotions resulted in death. So the moral of the story is, you can't allow your emotions and you falling short result into you taking things into your own hands. Let's get another example of man moving in emotion. I'm going to grab the book of Jonah, pull it up right here. Jonah chapter 4, and 9. I'm pulling this up online because I want to get another translation, but Satan hindering the word, so. Oh, there it is. Let's see. This is Jonah chapter 4, verse 9, and it reads, God asks Jonah, what right do you have to be angry about the plant? Jonah responds, I have every right to be angry, angry enough to die. So Jonah said, look, I'm so mad, Lord. Man, I'm angry enough to die. Those are idle words. And that's another thing that anger can yield. Idle words, it can yield to death. Anger yields a lot of fruits of the flesh. Not fruits of the spirit, but works of the flesh. And the Lord weighs everything in a balance. By him, actions are weighed. And he's also recording everything you say as well. So when you speak idly, the Lord is going to hold you to it. And say, oh, okay, you're angry enough to die. All right, I got you. You don't know what the Lord can do to you after the words that you've said, which is why you should sincerely apologize and repent for the folly and or wicked things that you may have said during the day or throughout the day. Because the things that you may think is funny, it may not be funny to the Most High. You laughing at that one picture is probably evil and wicked unto the Most High God before his eyes. Let me get one more, Lord willing. 2 more. 2 Kings chapter 2. So we just discussed man's anger and how it's not justified. Now, Cain was angry for what? What's his reason to be angry? What, did he really sincerely have a reason to lie? He was just being a brute beast because he didn't get his way and he wanted to do what he wanted to do. So sure, can he feel angry? Yeah, he can feel angry about what happened. But does that allow him to just sin willfully? Did the Lord give him a license to sin? Like it says in Sirach 15, right? The Lord doesn't give us a license to sin. The Lord didn't say, okay, just because you're angry, you can kill. If that is the case, I mean, the population would be cut in half today in this earth. Everybody would be dead. Imagine the Lord killed everybody he was angry with. I mean, there would be no more Israel. I mean, obviously, reading the scriptures, there would be no more Israel. Israel would have been gone, would have been done away. And you already seen what the Lord did in Judges. It's like in Genesis, how he flooded the earth in Genesis 7th chapter. So we know about the Lord's anger. But just because he's angry doesn't mean it always equates to punishment and wrath and destruction. Because the Lord considered things, he weighed things in a matter. And even the foolishness, or let me pull that out. Let me pull it out. I believe it's in the book of 1 Corinthians 1:25, where it reads, the foolishness of God is wiser than men. Pull it out. 1 Corinthians 1:25. Paul is quoting the Old Testament, but my mind just went to 1 Corinthians 1:25. Because the foolishness of God is wiser than men, and the weaknesses of God is stronger than men. So, I mean, either way, at the end of the day, however you want to cut it, I mean, the Most High is always just in his decisions, and there's a reason behind it. And you may think, well, I was emotional. Why did the Lord do that? First of all, you have no moral authority or high ground to judge the Most High God. I mean, you think wicked things every day. Most High has every right to be angry with us. And that's why it reads in, when you read in the prayer of Azarias, or it's like the three holy children, you'll read that his judgments are true and they are just. So let's find out an account of the Lord being just. This is 2 Kings. This is what I want. 2 Kings 2. And 23. And he went up, now this he is Elisha, and he went up from thence unto Bethel. And as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city, and mocked him, and said unto him, Go up, thou bald head, go up, thou bald head. So they're ridiculing, mocking Elisha. Mind you, Elisha is a mighty man. He's a prophet. He's a priest of the Lord. He's doing his due diligence to heal Israel. He's the successor of Elijah. Therefore, he got some wisdom. I would think he got some wisdom on him. And as we continue to read, it says this in 24, and he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the same, it's like in the name of the Lord. And there came forth 2 she-bear out of the woods, and tear 42 children of them. Now people say, well, why did the Lord do that? That was unrighteous. That wasn't right. No, that was righteous. That was just. And I'm going to tell you why. This is Exodus. And a lot of people who complain about the Lord's judgments, they're hypocrites. Because at the very same time, they would say, Salakia. At the very same time, people will argue, well, why does the Lord kill people? Why does the Lord take people away? But now, Salakia. See, back to my thoughts. But, I'll just circle back to it. Man says, well, why does God take away people? Why does God kill people? But then you wondering why God allows wickedness on earth. Well, God in due time, in his time, whenever he sees fit, he's going to destroy or remove those wicked men off the world. But then in man's hypocrisy, you say, well, why did God kill these people? Well, nobody perish is innocent. You have to understand that. But believe it or not, if that's hard for you to understand, and you don't understand that the nature of man yet, man by his nature is sinful. And some men more willfully sinful than others. You don't know what man is doing behind the closed doors. Imagine your darkest, deepest sins were just brought to light. I mean, you would think that you should have been put to death, especially everybody knowing it. So how much more those men and women that are super wicked. So Abaratazai, that makes sense. This is Exodus 22. Let's see. Exodus 22 and 28. This is the reason why God allowed those 2 she-bears to destroy those children. 22. Salakia. Let me see. Salakia. Exodus 22 and 28. Thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people. And that's exactly what those children did. And the Most High is merciful. And so, even back then, how much more did we understand and know our culture and laws? So when man was just willfully being ignorant and wicked, I mean, the Lord dished out punishments. And it is what it is at that point. And some people have a hard time understanding that because what? They allow their emotions to override logic. They allow their emotions and the situation at hand just influence their behavior. And that's why God is the judge and not yourself. It's a reason why you're not judging the world. And that's the reason why you're not judging this world and your house is all out of order. Because you can't judge properly. You judge out of emotions. That's what a lot of our people in the world do. So let me get 2 more verses, Lord willing. This is 2 Samuel. And the Lord don't do things for no reason. Now, even if it's even if the Lord do something to you and you may not know. I mean, what did Job say? Though thou slay me, yet will I still trust in thee. Because the Lord is going to put you through the fire for a reason, for a purpose. Again, the Most High God isn't a man that he should lie. Neither is he a man that he should just behave wickedly and be angry and sin. Stop saying the Lord murdered those children. No, that's not what he did. Now it could be for the sake of Isaiah 57:1, right? And or, those kids, God knows what those kids was doing. The kids, they were just get no. Stop saying that. There's no respect of persons. This is 2 Samuel chapter 6, verse. I'm gonna jump down. Hmm. 6 and 6. And when they came to Nachon's threshing floor, Uzzah put forth his hand to the ark of God and took hold of it, and the oxen shook it. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah, and God smote him there for his error, and there he died by the ark of God. And people just read that and see, whoa, what did he do? He just touched it. Why did he kill him? The Lord gives a reason for the things that he does. And not that he has to, but, we understand why that man died. And that reason is in Numbers 4. And mind you, between Numbers to Samuel, the people of the children of Israel, they heard the law out of the prophet's mouth, knowing that they're Israelites. Salakia. Numbers 4:15. And when Aaron his sons have made an end of covering the sanctuary and all the vessels of the sanctuary, as the camp is set forward, after that the sons of Konath shall come to bear it, but they shall not touch any holy thing, lest they die. These things are the burden of the sons of Kohath and the tabernacle of the congregation. So that's plain upon table. That's why the Most High killed them. It's the reason why the Lord killed that man in Numbers. It's like in Exodus 16th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if that's it. Oh no. Numbers 15. Numbers 15:32. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day. And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron and unto all the congregation. And they had put him in ward because he was not declared what should be done to him. And the Lord said unto Moses, the man shall surely be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp. And all the congregation brought him without the camp and stoned him with stones, and he died, and the Lord commanded Moses. As the Lord commanded Moses. A lot of people think, well, that was random. That was crazy. The Lord was this and the Lord was that. Well, hold on. What does it read in Exodus? First of all, that was Numbers 15 and 32. What did the Lord say in Exodus 20? This is what the Lord said in Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day and to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. And so on and so forth as you continue to read. No one is commanded to break the Sabbath day. Yet that man picked up sticks willfully. And you don't pick up sticks for no reason. You're either doing it to clean or to make a fire, which is also forbidden. So this man was sinning on the Sabbath day. Now, that's Exodus 20, but also reads in Exodus the 16th chapter, where the Lord commanded Israel, hey, grab that manna, but on that 7th day, don't go out. Don't go out your house to grab anything. So the Lord told us essentially twice, 2 to 3 times, don't go out on the Sabbath day. So when that man gave up the ghost, the Lord judged him. And so, he was justified in his anger. So, if you call yourself a child of the Most High, then you too will make sure you make rational decisions and execute a punishment according to the crime. So Abarat Israel has been edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. But I got one more video. Shalom, we back at it. I'm bringing up this information because it relates to the video, which is anger and wrath. As you can see, man loses temper during road rage and shoot at driver on I-94 in Detroit. So let's read it. A 25-year-old man is facing multiple felony charges after allegedly opening fire on another driver during a road rage incident on I-94 near the Lodge Freeway on Sunday. According to the court records, Jalen Cornell Ford has been charged with 8 offenses, including assault with intent to murder, assault with intent to do great bodily harm, and felonious assault. He received a $200,000 bond. Prosecutors say the incident started with an altercation on the freeway between Ford and another driver. Ford allegedly followed the victim's vehicle, pulled up alongside it, and fired a round into the car. Police later confirmed the bullet shattered the driver's side window. The victim provided police with a description of the shooter, the weapon, and the vehicle's license plate. The investigators traced the plate back to Ford. Officers arrested Ford at his home and recovered the weapon that matched the description. Officers say Ford also made statements implicating him in the shooting. He said he lost his temper. Ford's defense attorney argued that he acted in self-defense, claiming the victim also had a gun. Now, whether the brother make it out or doesn't, is really ultimately up to the Most High God, pursuant to Proverbs 16:33. But the most important thing to note is that this is where anger brought him. Anger brought him in handcuffs. Him losing his temper in 1 second, him allowing his emotions to just overwhelm him allowing the situation to influence him to become reckless is what caused him to be placed in this situation. And the person he shot at could have died. The other person could have shot him and he could have died. And so you have to ask yourself, when you're placed in a situation and you're getting upset, ask yourself, is me resulting violently, is that going to resolve the issue? Is that really going to solve anything? Will everything get solved if I just result into anger and violence? You have to ask yourself these things. I got one more case. Now, for those who haven't seen it, but this is a clip of a movie called Unhinged.
It's okay.
In this movie, this guy was dealing with wrath. He was dealing with an anger demon.
Thing to apologize for, sir.
Mom, it's okay. Just apologize.
Now the background, Slaki, the background is these two have an altercation because I believe she cut him off or almost hit him. Whatever the case was, you know, he put up alongside her and had a few words for him. Now, if you want to watch the movie, you're going to have to figure out where to watch it because I don't know. But I did watch it. It was a decent movie. But this movie does deal with anger and a wrathful spirit. Right?
Well, I don't think that's really true of any of us now, is it? But that's where we are in this world today. We seem to have developed a fundamental inability to apologize to anyone for anything. I don't even think you really know what a bad day is.
See, and nobody knows how that conversation, you know, how that happened between Mr. Ford and the other guy. It could have been something or an exchange of those words. I'll show you some. You know, whenever Jake said, I'll show you some, or hey, check this out. You know, it's about to get violent. It's about to get hectic. You know, in this case with Esau, you know, Esau has his own idioms and his own lingo. He told this woman, I don't think you know what a bad day is. And there's no telling what he was about to do to her or the child. You see that the situation was real intense. That's because it's a spirit on him. It's a demon on him. Telling this woman and her child, I don't think you know what a bad day is. That's an implication. Some harm is headed towards your way. You know, but Abba Raphael Israel has been edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Shai and have a better understanding of what anger is. And Lord willing, you can understand how to avoid your anger as well by really meditating and weighing things out in the balance. But with that, I'm a bit of Shalom.